We're not in Kansas no more. Hold my beer. What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your one stop for everything Adventure Radio. It's time for some shenanigans.
Shenaners.
Excuse me. Before we get started, once again, we're going to thank these guys right here because they're absolutely awesome. And, you know, if any of these guys or anybody else actually would like to catch up with me on this trip, you know, shoot me a message because we'll talk a little bit about some people that have already. Also, shout out to the YouTube members, the lovely people in green, and some of them are in blue because they're administrators. Absolutely awesome people as well. And the third quarter, no changes. Michael almost popped on the board, but he's just left right off the bottom edge of the board. So we'll see if there's some new changes for this week coming up on Wednesday. What's up, Dan?
What's up, Doc? How's your trip going?
Listen, cows, corns, and goats, man. I'm in Kansas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hopefully everybody had a happy 4th. Hopefully everybody has all 10 fingers left. Hello to everybody in the chat. Toby. Let's see. Myself. Hello, Dan. How you doing? Kilo 8 Golf Hotel. Terry. Grandpa Terry. Good to see you. KO4FSZ Antennas. I think he just came out with a new something. You might want to go check his website. Andy Cowley, always good to see you. November Lover, the awesome barbecue yesterday. Thank you so much. AC3WJM. Hello. Mark says, thanks for keeping the word shenanigan alive. Absolutely, brother. No problem. And Sidewalk Sherry, good to see you as always.
Oh, I'll tell you what, man. This is day 2 here. Well, 2.14 because I did leave about a fourth of a day left on Friday. But I'll tell you what, man. I've been go, and I've seen some interesting stuff and done some interesting things already. But before we do, you know,
you activated a park that was named after you.
Activated the park, yes, with the same name as me. I did do that.
Absolutely.
I actually did do that, and we're going to talk about that. But before we do, I wanted to say that, you know, I love all the people from my kingdom. But, you know, somebody has decided that since I'm away from the capital, that he's going to try a little bit of foolery going on. and this guy, you know, he happens to be the king's jester. and you know, and he happened to tell somebody today that the king was wrong. And you know, I wasn't gonna tell people about this fetish that he has, but since he thought I was wrong, and I think that's why he told him I was wrong, because I wasn't telling people. I think he wants people to know. So you know, we all know that Terry had ran away with Clarice, and you know, got her a tattoo and a pirate arm and eye patch and all this stuff. But come to find out, Terry has had a fascination with dolls for a very long time. So Terry started at a very young age with this little monkey doll that he loved very much. And he broke the banana off of its hand one day, and he didn't know what to feed it. So he found something as small as that little banana and started feeding it with it. And that started his fascination with dolls. So then he became a teenager. When Terry was 18 years old, he beat up a 10-year-old and stole his Snuffleupagus doll.
Now, Snuffy nut Snuffleupagus.
This comes straight from Terry. Terry told me about this. He beat this guy up. And he also, when he was a teenager, went to these people's house who had a doll tied on their porch. And he untied it. And then she must have told him to let her stay. And he stomped the doll down. And they chased him with shovels and brooms like he was a witch.
Oh,
so,
Terry.
I mean, all this stuff came from Terry. I mean, this is his exact words, y'all. So you guys should watch out with your dolls around Terry.
This is what we have to look forward to in about a month and a half. Richard, the Truckingham says, hey, how about a peanut butter cheeseburger?
Oh, here we go.
We'll never hear the end of it.
Terry says, why do I tell him anything?
I know, right?
Terry, your secret was safe until you told somebody that the king was wrong, and then it just had to come out.
That is true.
But in your defense, Terry, the sense has been shaken out of me because, you know, first off, I was supposed to do Oklahoma today, and I didn't get to do that because of this stupid tropical storm or whatever, sending all these storms up that way. And there were some really bad storms up that way. And I went to one park and was already closed for it, I guess. And then the second one I was headed to, the storm got there before I did. And I was looking at the storm, and it had them sails in it that looked like them little whirly things. And I said, I think I'm about to backtrack to Missouri again and just head north. So I headed there, and I thought, you know, because I don't want to go spinny, winny around, you know, with just these winds.
That's right.
But then I get in the car with Sidewalk Sherry, and she gets in this 3-lane roundabout, and I think she thought she was stuck in the tornado because she just kept going round and round and round in this thing. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Did she back up, though?
She did not back up. She did do better than Terry. She went forward.
Very good.
She went forward, but she did not back up.
Let me interrupt your story for just a minute. Brent, thanks for dropping in. He's checking in and out to the Shenanigans net. And good to see you, buddy. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, Roger, Brent. Good to see you. Listen, I'll tell you what, I did not know that Missouri and Kansas was the roundabout capitals of the world or something.
Right.
You will literally do a roundabout, go 400 feet and do a roundabout, go 400 feet and do I'm like, what? It's like they're playing tic-tac-toe with the things in a row or something. I don't know.
Terry would be in heaven.
Terry would have a conniption, man. He would just, he'd drive backwards everywhere he went.
But you said a 3-lane roundabout?
A 3-lane roundabout. That kind of threw me.
That's a hell of a roundabout.
That kind of threw me. Could you imagine being stuck on the inside there?
Yeah.
You're never getting out. Why would anybody get on the inside lane of a roundabout to start with?
Maybe they just want to go around and around.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I've seen some interesting sights. Last night we drove by the Uranus fudge factory and we looked them up. They only make certain kinds of fudge. Would you like to know what kind of fudge they make, Dan?
Hold on, dark chocolate.
They make dark chocolate, regular chocolate, milk chocolate, and some other chocolate. I'm like, okay.
That is funny.
Then then today we also drove by the Come and Go.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting.
Didn't you oh man. I don't know if it was a Shenanigan stream or a Wednesday stream, but it must have been a year ago or so now. I think you did one from a Come and Go as you were traveling because they had signal there or something.
I may have. It
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if I was streaming from there. But yeah, it's been fun. Uh, the bands have been okay most of the time.
Larry said it'd be better if it was a come and went.
Oh, there we go. Stephen, thank you very much for the super chat, and it was also great to see you as well. And I'll tell you what, you're welcome for me sending you to. You've kind of inspired me. So I sent Stephen to a restaurant that I ate at when I activated the park that he was going to stay at. So I sent Stephen. No, it's actually a great part. If you're ever going to activate Hungry Mother, you should go to Sir 81 because it's really amazing food. I think I talked about it on stream actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I got the nacho steak fries or whatever, and really great place. But Steven went there. He absolutely loved it. Then he went back the next day for lunch. It was that good. So now I'm going to start adding to my POTA, like on these road videos here. If I go to an interesting place that you should try out if you're in the area, or you shouldn't try out, and you'll have to watch day one and two of this row here to find out where you should not go if you're in a certain area.
Well, do what I did on my last video. I guess combine your POTA adventures with food.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do like a foodie POTA thing, saying, "Hey, if you're going to POTA here, this restaurant, good shit."
Yep, that. I've decided I'm gonna start combining that with my roving travels and stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. Larry wants to know: did you try Lambert's?
I did not try Lambert.
Or maybe he's talking to Steven.
Oh.
Steven said the food was amazing. Went there for dinner and breakfast. You know it's good if you eat there the night before and then you go back when you wake up.
You know, I seen it and I was there early. I was meeting Michael and Josh. We were there early. We were hungry, and I was like, "Yeah, we'll go in there and eat." We get closer, and the sign in the window says burritos and breakfast. I'm like, I don't know. And then you go in, it's really classy looking. They got it's really clean, got a nice bar in there and everything. And then I look at their menu, and their menu has all these varieties, and everything that we got there was really good. So,
speaking of Stephen and Veronica, Stephen is Veronica gonna get her ham ticket this year? That's what I want to know.
So I can let you in on the secret
because I think that would be badass.
She's definitely going to get her general by the end of this year because next year she told me that she's going to do the PZN challenge and finish what Steven could not finish.
Oh, that would be brutal. Oh my God. Oh no.
She said you can guarantee that there will be an antenna and a radio in the motorcycle next year when I got my license.
Oh my goodness. Maybe next year you should do like plaques instead of coins.
Speaking of coins, you know, there's several people that's in the running for this Rove coin so far. As people, and I'm barely into this trip. I've barely done a few states. A lot of people, was expecting Oklahoma today, and the tornado took that out. But there's several people that's still getting coins. I did miss a state because I wasn't paying attention.
What were the rules of this again? And you have to get you in each state or in each park?
In each state, it doesn't have to be each park, just each state.
Okay.
But there are states that only have one park.
To be honest, I don't know if I'm still in it or not.
Like South Dakota only has one park. Oklahoma was only going to have one park. Whereas Kansas is going to have multiple parks. Nebraska and Idaho is going to have multiple parks. North Dakota may only have one park too. But I know I'm going to get a pile up on that because it's North Dakota, and we all know that North Dakota only gets activated if somebody comes to activate North Dakota from somewhere.
You'll probably get one hell of a pile up on 40 meters too, because everybody around there probably never works it. You'll get a lot of locals probably.
Yeah, I did switch to 20 today. Well, I've switched to 20 the first day because Michael, Sierra Foxtrot Bravo, Kilo Oscar 8 Sierra Foxtrot Bravo, as he's now known as. That was a funny story. So he said that he's going to change himself to an 8 call for the king. So when he contacted me, and I forget Sherry's doing the log, I'm like, Kilo Oscar 8 Sierra Foxtrot Bravo, you're 5'9". And then it dawned on me. I was like, no, that's Kilo Oscar 4. And she looked at me like I was dumb for saying it, but she had no idea what I was doing.
Happened at our park yesterday. The Liz called us. No, actually, it was Kylie. So Kylie called us and said, K8, keep me running. Or N8, keep me running. And she said, 5'9" all 7. And then Ken looked up at me from across the table. He said, 7. I said, I got you, man. Don't worry about it. Just keep logging.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because so we were out at Route 66 State Park, which was not on Route 66, by the way. It's right off of Route 44.
It's only 20 away. 22.
It's just like my APRS on my radio. It's only like 30 miles north out of the way.
Yeah, right.
And I'm only going in a straight line like an airplane. But anyway, so we were there, and I was activating. It was just me and Sherry activating, but Kyle was out there, and we was using Kyle's antenna. And as promised, Kyle, your antenna sucks. But there was also Dennis, Alpha Delta 9 Whiskey Mike, and Dave, the original POTA OG out there to come out to hang out with me and talk and stuff. And they would kind of just chuckle because the Roses would come in and say all 7, and I'd just reach over and Sherry would be logging, and I'd turn the laptop toward me, and I'd just never even pay attention and just keep calling, all right, QRZ, and keep logging people. And I'd get all 7 of them in, and I'd just turn it back to order and keep on going.
That's funny. Sherry said there's only 5 likes right now. Smash that like button and the subscribe button while you're at it. Turn on the notification bell.
Absolutely.
Doesn't cost you a penny.
If you can't hit that like button, you better not show up at a park that I'm at on this trip. Come on now. Yeah, it was great. So Dave and Dennis came out because Dennis actually hunted me at the park in Illinois. We're gonna discuss why I missed Indiana in a second. So he hunted me there, and he said, "Oh, you're in my neck of the woods." He said, "Are you going to do another park in this area?" And I said, my next park's going to be Route 66 over in near St. Louis." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, you going to be there tomorrow?" I said, "No, tomorrow I'm going to be in Springfield in the morning and Oklahoma, then Kansas." And he's like, "Man, you're moving." So then I get messages from he had messaged Dave, and they said, "Hey, we'd like to come out to Route 66 and talk to you and meet up with you." And I was like, "Come on." So it was really good. I love when I'm in the area and somebody just comes in and hangs out with me for a little bit, and we get to talk about.
Let me see if I can ask this Let me see if I can ask this like I hear Craig on the radio. All right, here we go. November 4, Charlie Whiskey Bravo wants to know where you're at.
We are in Kansas, Craig, and as long as there's no raining after the stream, there will be some Kansas activations. And if you do happen to miss Kansas tonight, I am going to do one more in Kansas in the morning before I leave. That way, because I do have some Sunday hunters that they don't hunt on Sunday because of their religion, and I'd like to be able to give them the full opportunity. Since I missed Oklahoma, now if I would have made Oklahoma, it would have just been done. But since I'd like to give them the opportunity to try to earn the coin because they're in it so far.
I say that with all the love in the world, Craig, because you got me the other day. I was trying to listen to somebody who I guess you could hear a lot better than me, so I had the volume crunk up. I had my inner monitors in. I'm like, oh, I can hear it. They're like a 2-2, and then you come in there, November 4, Charlie Whiskey Bravo. It's like, God almighty.
The really cool thing about the Rove is because I missed Oklahoma, and I seen that storm and how big it was, I backtracked quickly back to Missouri, and I headed back. I started heading up toward Kansas, and I was like, I still ain't got my Jerry dedication activation in. Let me get one more in, and I'm looking, and I find a park that is named after me.
Yeah.
So my name is James Mon, and I got to activate the Monson Conservation Area, which is really funny because you drive out on this old gravel road in the middle of nowhere, and basically it's a little parking lot. Of course, it's a wildlife management area. You can hunt there, but it's a little parking lot, and the whole time you're activating, there's combines going down the road like 40 miles an hour, stirring up the most dust.
Jeez.
But the funny thing about it is, we were going north and south on that road. But when we got ready to leave, we put in a motel for Kansas, and it took us to the road straight across, which is also a gravel road. And as soon as we crossed over onto that road, like we literally drove over the road 5 feet from where we activated, and it said, "Welcome to Kansas."
Did you get PP Man in Missouri?
I did not get PP Man in Missouri.
Okay, well, at least you didn't have to lie to him and give him a stronger signal report than what was actually true.
But I did lie to somebody and give them a stronger signal report. So if you did work me today
in Missouri
and wondered why I gave you a 3-3 Missouri, first off, shame on you for not knowing who Alpha Delta Zero Bravo Charlie is. I miss Jerry very much. I miss hearing. I never met Jerry in person, but I miss him like he had been a friend for years.
Yeah.
And that's what POTA is all about. So I did do every contact today, got a 3-3 Missouri. And there was one person, and I even called him and told him. And since he said that the king was wrong about something, I'm going to go ahead and say Harry was actually a 2-2, if that. But I did lie to him and tell him he was a 3-3 Missouri, so he could get the 3-3 Missouri.
Craig said he heard you better on 40 than it did on 20. I could barely hear you at all on 40. I mean, I could hear your voices because I know yours and Sherry's voice. But if I was to call you, you could probably hear me, but I would not know if you ever called me back. And that's how low you were. But you got on 20, you were booming.
See, now here's the thing. So if you couldn't hear me, it wouldn't have done you no good. But if you can hear me and you think I can't hear you, I'd throw your call out there. Because I will tell you what, yes, last night when I was on Kyle's antenna that sucked, love you, Kyle.
Get him some ham sticks.
But when I was on that antenna, there was a call that came through. And I called this person back, and I gave them a 2-2, and I listened. And I was like, all right, thanks for the 2-2. And they all said, who'd you get? And they, Sherry heard me call the call sign back, and she typed it in. She said, and she said the same thing. And 3 experienced activators and Sherry there. None of them heard a single word from the other activator. I said, that was Josh, Kilo 4 Lima, India. I gave him a 2-2. He gave me a 2-2. And Sherry said, he wasn't really there.
All right.
I said, message him on Discord, message him on Signal. I guarantee. Well, we go to 20, and he hunts me on 20. They wouldn't message him. He hunts me on 20, and I said, hey, Josh, will you do me a favor? He said, what's that? Because he heard me good on 20. I heard him good on 20. I said, can you tell me what, or maybe it was backwards. It was backwards. It was 20 that I worked first, and I worked 40 second. That's what it was. So when he got me on 40, and he was loud on 40, I said, can you tell me what you gave me on 20 meters? He said, I gave you a 2-2, same as you gave me. Why? He's all worried like I didn't get him. And I just looked over at him and smiled.
That's funny.
So, you never, if you're a PZN hunter and you hunt me a lot, you never know what my one super ear will do.
Voice recognition adds at least 3 dB. I've always said that.
Terry said 800 watt got me a 2-2.
So, all right. So what have you noticed so far about band conditions? Are they about the same there? Crappy?
Well, here's the thing. The bands are up and down, so I'm not giving the real thing. But just like yesterday at that activation, I was on 21st, and I wasn't getting crap. I got, I think, 11 calls.
Yeah.
And then I went over to 40 and destroyed it. Today on 40, I got 10 or 11 calls. And hey, thank you very much, Michael. That one would definitely put you on the board unless some people don't donate. But I couldn't hardly get nothing on 40. I went over to 20 and absolutely slaughtered the world.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I know 20 for us yesterday was very, very up and down. Like somebody would come in and they'd be like 20 over, and then they would just fade out into absolutely nothing and then fade right back up. The QSB was horrible.
The only park where 40 meters has failed me was that one today. That conservation area today, 40 meters, it just wouldn't work. I don't know what it was, but
maybe you need to get Kyle to build you a good antenna.
Well, I can tell you, and this is how I know for 100% sure that it was his antenna. Sorry, Kyle, I'm going to give you crap about this one. But so I'm in Central Time, which is just stupid. The laws need to change. The King's Time is the King's Time, y'all. But Michael has blowed me up while I'm talking to these hunters, and I don't even know it because my phone's laying in the car, and he's blowed me up, worrying to death that he's falling out of PZN Challenge. And we get in the car and we're leaving, and Sherry looks at her phone. She's like, Michael's blowed me up, said he's calling you. I look at his messages, and he's worried about falling in and out of the PZN Challenge. And I'm looking, and I was like, man, I got another hour and 20 minutes. I can get to another park. We drive another, 50 yards. Like, go over in that parking lot. She's like, why? I said, I'm in Central Time. I got 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So I throw up the Eagle One. And if you've seen the back of the car right now, you would know I got a lot of stuff with me. Most of it is radio stuff because that's how I roll. But there's a lot of, so the battery box is underneath all this stuff. I just take a power cord and reach in that stuff and plug it in the battery and run it out of the car. And I sat down on the ground, and there's actually a video. Sherry actually filmed me sitting on the ground. And I said, tell Michael to go to this frequency. He goes to that frequency. I was like, Kilo Echo 4 Eastern Standard Time, K8PZ. He come back. He said, you're 5'9". I said, you're, and it was funny because that was the best signal in that park the whole time was from that Eagle One. So
Mike asked, what states you got in the log so far?
So here's the problem. I should have Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Oklahoma, and That should be it. But the problem was when I was looking down through the Indiana parks and I'm running down this strip, that was the strip that I ran where the very first half of that 42 park road. So everything I'm getting to is I'm like, I've done that, done that, done that, done that, done that. Then I finally see one. I'm like, ooh, I haven't done this one. So I just put it in the GPS, and that's where we went. We end up in Illinois.
Hmm.
So I totally missed all the Indiana parks. So technically, what I do have is Illinois, Missouri. Then I went into Oklahoma and got stormed out and came back to Missouri and activated again. All you got to technically have, Michael, right now is Illinois and Missouri, because I didn't do Kentucky because we already had that. Hey, thank you very much for the super chat, Eddie, but you don't really want to tell me about leftovers because, I don't have any of them.
Don't hate. Eddie's trying to, play that off like it's not really a good thing. His leftovers are what we had yesterday. We had amazing ribs from the Pitmaster, November Lover. We had burgers. We had sausage. We had potato salad. We had baked beans. So his leftovers ain't all that bad. It was
Michael,
good. Is it just my audio that dropped, or can I not hear James? I can't hear James. Can anybody hear me, or is it my computer? It could be my computer. Mike says cannot hear James. So probably can hear me. Larry wants to know if you had any nana pudding. No, we didn't have any nana pudding yesterday, which would have been great, but you never know. Hear Dan, not James. James, get out of here. I got this. We'll just talk about his barbecue. Yeah, I would think it's not really the good time of year to be roaming through Oklahoma with these storms coming through. Especially Beryl is coming up there, right? The remnants of the tropical storm. So hopefully they stay safe. But yeah, Eddie, those leftovers you're eating aren't bad at all. Trust me. It was very good. Set the Eagle one up in no time. Sat on the cement with stuff in the car except from his radio. So he sat like on the ground. That's great. Terry wants to know if you know sign language. That's appropriate for YouTube. He can just start, doing the whole. I better not do that. I might accidentally flash a gang sign or something and get us demonetized. But Mike says he's going to have Barrel Hurricane Pota party tomorrow. Heck yeah, son. Let's get to the park. Is it bad over there in Texas? Hopefully not. It was looking for a while that it was gonna slam Texas like Category 4, Category 5, and I'm glad that didn't happen.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I just switched to the camera's audio.
my Mike said your Death Star crapped out.
the Death Star crapped out again, I guess. Boy, my knee ended up pulling the cord on it, and
I guess. All right, Mike says it's supposed to hit tomorrow morning. Well, hopefully it's not too bad, guys, and stay safe over there for sure, and don't go out and do a Pota party. Stay inside and be safe.
So I'm wondering where they didn't hear me. When did you stop hearing me, Dan?
About right when the stream started, I stopped listening.
No, okay.
Oh, you mean hearing you? You were talking about. I don't remember what you were talking about. I think it was right after how many states you hit, and you didn't get Indiana, and the only two states that people should have is, and then it went out.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about missing Indiana because all the parks you already did. Then you went up to Illinois. You did some in Illinois.
So I can give you a schedule though. Tonight after this stream, and probably some dinner, I will be getting Kansas. I will also be getting Kansas tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, I will be getting Nebraska and Idaho. Then the next day will be South Dakota and North Dakota. Maybe only one park in each of those states. That's going to be the big key ones you got to get. The Kansas and the Nebraska and Iowa. I said Idaho again, didn't I?
Yeah.
Nobody,
nobody wants to be Idaho.
Yeah. But the South Dakota and North Dakota. I'm not saying there's only going to be one, but there might only be one.
This comment's actually pretty funny. Mike says getting all my batteries. Now he didn't. So Mike didn't emphasize the word all, but I did. He's getting all my batteries and inverters ready now. If anybody knows anything, he can probably power the whole neighborhood for 3 weeks. So I think everybody on his block is going to be perfectly fine.
Yeah. If it was somebody else making that comment, I wouldn't think much about it. But yeah, you're probably right. You know, all 3 counties around him in Texas should be good to go.
Yeah. He said the beer will be cold. I can tell you that. That's all that's important, man. You got a radio and you got beer. That's all we need. And cigars. But you ain't got to worry about keeping them. Well, you got to make sure they don't get like too humid, I guess.
I will tell you what, it is the heat in Kansas is not here. I love it. It's like 80 degrees here.
Man, I hate that. It was 90. The air temperature was 97 today, but the feels like with the wet, damp air, it was like 109, 108, 109. And when you walk outside, it's like you're breathing hot water. It's just nasty. You can walk to the mailbox and back and start sweating. It's just stupid.
Yeah, it was like that in Kentucky. The first night we got in that room and they did not have the air on in there. And like, it was so humid in that room. And then we checked and it was something like 75% humidity. And I was like, oh my God.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. Just the amount of water that's being pulled out from my air conditioner. If you walk outside to the condensate drain line, it's just so much water getting pulled out of the air in the house. It's ridiculous.
So Mike, are you going to do a POTA hurricane party?
CQ barrel. Yeah. Be kind of tough, man. You know, it'd be cool too, but you'd have to find some way to protect your equipment. I mean, you don't want your radios and crap out there in the rain and, you know, crap like that.
You're talking about I didn't want my radio in the combine dust today.
He doesn't want to mess up his hair, so he's going to stay inside. Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, you spend a lot on shampoo every month, I bet.
Mike, are you heading out to Zion with everybody? I wish I was.
Next year.
Yeah. It was on the schedule for this year. Just stuff happened, so this trip got to happen instead.
Nope, no Zion for Cape Murder. I tried to get you in a park the other day. I saw you spotted, but the spot was like, I don't know, 15 minutes old, but I guess you have moved along. Craig wants to know where y'all staying tomorrow night.
I had to look at that twice because when I first looked at it, I thought it said, "Where are you shaving tomorrow night?" I'm like, I don't really plan on it.
Might be a valid point as well.
Tomorrow night, I will be in Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha. Get you some steak. You can go see what's his face? Warren Buffett.
Which is really cool because, you know, I have almost 100 activations on the Lewis and Clark Trail. And I actually get to activate where the actual pin is at when I'm there. So
they got a statue there too, don't they?
Do what?
Don't they have a monument?
Yes, they do have the Lewis and Clark Monument there.
That'd be a good picture. Yeah.
No. So I'm actually going to try to get the Lewis and Clark in Nebraska and Iowa. So I got 2 more states for it.
Mm-hmm. Which would be a good thing to do because, like I said last stream, they may or may not start tracking trails by state for statistics.
You know what would be really interesting for POTA to do, I think? To fix my stats page so I could see it.
You don't need them. Stats are so overrated.
I have people complaining to me because they ain't got challenge coins. And it's because I don't know that they got 1,000 contacts with me because I can't look at them. Oh, it's funny.
Sherry said Omaha, Nebraska, Sherry, not Mutual Omaha. We got good steaks in Omaha. Isn't there like an Omaha Steaks company or something like that?
I don't know.
Like a mail order steaks. They send them to you frozen with dry ice or whatnot. And I think it's Omaha Steaks.
If there's a good steak, I will probably find it though. And then you can check out my POTA videos and find out where that steak came from.
There you go.
Because you really want to watch day 1 and 2 where you can find out where not to go. And I'll even give you a preview. Think of Terry's grandma being your waitress, and she's wearing her great granddaughter's short shorts.
My camera's not frozen. I'm just sitting here in a daze.
Yeah, I was in a daze too when she came to the table.
Yeah. I think I had that distinct. I think I regurgitated a little bit in my mouth there.
Yeah.
You know that flavor you started to get.
That it was literally the oldest person I've ever seen in Daisy Dukes in my life.
Jeez. Well, did she have a hover around?
She did not have a hover around. Although I did see a record company that Terry owns. It was called Heavy Haulers. So I did see that. I didn't know Terry owned a record company. I think they specialize in hover around rescue.
Oh my God. One of these days, Terry's going to meet us at a ham fest and wake up early in the morning with a shotgun.
He will be standing over top of you at a ham fest, Danny. He'll be like, "You sure do pee funnier than when you're awake."
Oh my God!
I swear.
Grandpa Terry's the greatest.
Terry said I got a picture of my grandma and Harley. Oh, I don't know about you, Terry.
Oh man, I don't think Terry knows about us.
You know. The bad thing is, Dan, is I'm sitting here torturing him, and then I get the pleasure of riding with him all the way to Huntsville this year. So
yeah.
That's going to be an interesting, yeah. You I don't know if you heard about that. So interesting story, Dan. So Michael has this signal group, and
which I'm not a member of, by the way. We need to rectify this.
He sent you an invite.
I never got it.
There you go, Michael. Send him another invite.
Hit me up on. Send me a DM. I'll give you my phone number. That might pull it better.
He tried to get me to join this thing. And first off, most of the time I have my phone turned off anymore because I can't get nothing done anyway. So I ignore enough stuff. I ignore all these other messages. Why ignore another one? And so I just kept putting it off, We're driving, and I've been in the car forever. As Otata said, James is getting bed sores. You need to stop into the park for him. But we're driving, and Sherry's phone is hooked to the Bluetooth on the car, and all of a sudden I see a thing come up and says, POTUS spots and something. It says play. And I was like, so I click it and I said, play. It said, there's a variety of conversations going on. Here is a summary. And it starts saying all these conversations, Liz said this and Josh said this. And all of a sudden it says, Terry says that I've been trying to get James to do the last 2 parks I need in West Virginia for months now, but he's too busy. So I'm falling over in my chair laughing. So I grabbed my phone and I called Terry and I said, Terry, Google says, Google told me that you said it. And he starts laughing because he knew he said it. He said, well, you are busy. And I was like, well, I'm going to make you a deal. We do the same deal we did last year about Huntsville. And I'll go do them 2 parks that you need in the state. He said, well, what's the deal we did last year? I didn't tell him the full deal, Dan. So,
oh, that's great.
Anybody looking for a good time in Huntsville, hook me up. I can get you very cheap.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw you join Discord because it had a little thing that said James is on Discord now because it's hooked into my contacts. So I sent you a picture.
I'm driving. Yeah, I know you sent me a picture and I immediately message you when I see it. So, what are you trying to get me to download? I don't trust it.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for the 3-3 from Missouri.
I enjoyed that activation. I did. I really did. I miss him a lot. Hey, thank you very much, Chris. And I did see your new antenna, and I'm already curious. So we're going to be talking about that very soon. And if anybody else would like to see his antenna, go over and check it out and use the code HRAG and save a little bit of money.
I will drop a link in the chat once I can learn how to type.
You know what?
I forget what his new antenna is called. I did see a little short video about it, and I'm trying to find it. The Hiker. That's what it's called.
You know what? I just thought about something. Chris thanked me for the 3-3 Missouri. And I'm going to do this. When I get back and when I get time, I'm not going to be in a hurry. When I get back and get time, I'm going to do an HRAG 3-3 coin. And if you got me on that activation today, you can send me shipping because I got several people on that activation today and I'm not paying shipping, but you can send me shipping and I'll send you an HRAG 3-3 Missouri coin. So if you got me on the activation today and want one, I'll get it done because Jerry deserves that.
I like that.
See, good things come from my stream.
That is right.
I'll tell you, this time is messing me up. It's
about
only
10 more minutes.
It's only 5:48 here. And what's
that's right. You're in the wrong time zone.
Yes, they need to fix this stuff. It needs to be the King's time, and that's it. I don't care whether they have 2 choices. They can either go full Eastern time or they can go full UTC time.
Would it be Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time? It would be cool if the U.S. was like Canada and let you have multiple call signs, because he could have EST and EDT, and he could use one 6 months out of the year. You see.
Oh God, here goes Terry again.
I can't say Eastern sexy time on the air though. It just feels wrong.
Listen, the first time he said that, and I was sitting beside him, I choked. Like I literally choked. Although I did make Sherry about pass out. So we were in that park in Illinois, and it was winding down the activation, and some guy come on there and kept jamming me, and he kept going. He did it about 4 or 5 times, and I finally said, "All right, station ending and Hawk Tua," and she fell out the chair.
Oh my God.
She did. She fell out the chair.
Oh my goodness gracious. Jeez.
Mike said that last super chat was supposed to cover shipping.
And there you go. There you go.
Mike proactively done that, he said. No.
That's about as good as the time when it was right when the whole Bud Light controversy first came out. And I was activating with David Kilo Oscar for Golf Alpha Reese Cup at the park up there. We were at Norman. Norman Park.
Lake Norman.
Yeah, Lake Norman. And we were activating up there, and we had a hell of a pileup. I mean, I called for red trucks. I mean, this is how thick this pileup was. And he gets on there and goes, "All right, anybody drinking a Bud Light right now, come back." Just one poor soul came back and gave us call sign.
You awake? Go.
Oh, it was so great, though. Yeah, see, I don't go by the numbers. Let me get on a little rant here. We got a little while to go.
I love hearing this rant. Come on, bring it.
For this 13 colonies crap. Now, I got my clean sweep, whatever. But I can't remember who it was. He had a decent pilot. It wasn't anything out of the normal for a James or a Dan or even a K Murder, style pilot. It was big, but it wasn't unmanageable. But this guy decided to run the numbers. So he starts off with 8s, and Terry was calling. Whiskey at Echo Romeo and Rachel got in, which was cool. But this guy stayed on 8s for 15 minutes, at least. Then he goes to 9s, and I said, "Oh, Jesus." So I walked in the kitchen. I made a hamburger. I made French fries in the air fryer. I came back, set my food down on the desk here, and I put my earphones on. The bastard's still on 9s. And I'm like, did he go all the way around and I missed 4s? And then Terry goes, no, he's still on 9s. And I'm like, well, I mean, at this rate, I'll check back on Friday because he might be on 4s. It was ridiculous.
So, if any of the state coordinators that does the 13 colonies, and I'm preferring, say Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia, that would be the states I'd prefer, would like for me next year to come to your state for a week and run 13 colonies. I will do them, and I promise you I won't run numbers. Or if any DXpeditions who are going to DXpeditions that are in POTA parks, the key is it has to be in a POTA park because I have to activate every day, wants to bring me along, I will also run a DXpedition without going into the numbers, and I will not run split.
I would, if you ever hear me running numbers, come check my damn temperature because something's wrong with me. I'll run by the suffix of your call sign before I run numbers, and that would be quicker than running numbers.
I'll run by your T-shirt color before I'll run numbers.
It's crazy,
and I will.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, I've called for red trucks, blue trucks, black trucks, people drinking Bud Lights, But yeah, I mean, seriously, I would run by the prefix of your damn call sign. the suffix of your call sign before I ran by numbers. And I guarantee you it'd be faster than running by numbers. It's crazy.
All right. Well, we are coming up on the top of the hour, and
Run by numbers and skip fours. Terry, you bastard.
either Frank or Charlie's coming up next, so you guys can go over and watch them. Dan, what you got coming up?
Not a lot, man. Relaxing, and hopefully everybody had a great 4th. And like I said, hopefully everybody has all of these left after setting off your fireworks. And if you don't have all of these left, sorry. Maybe you still got something to key the microphone up. Listen for James on his big rove he's doing, and have a great week.
All right. And as for me, I'm going to go get some dinner, and I'm going to activate a Kansas Spark. And then tomorrow I'm going to activate another Kansas Spark, and then I'm going to head to Iowa and Nebraska and activate several of them. I'll be in Iowa tomorrow night. The next day I will be going up into South Dakota and North Dakota, activating at least one park in each. The day after that, I will be in Minnesota and Wisconsin. When I get to Wisconsin, I will be testing one of the youths for my PZN Youth Challenge. Then I will spend 3 days in Michigan testing a ton of youths. So it's got a busy schedule. There's still a lot of people to send the challenge. I hope to have to send a bunch of y'all coins. Y'all do not have to pay shipping for those coins. If you get me in every state, I've got the shipping for those coins. Or should I say Terry does? I'm kidding, right. Terry. I'm kidding. Anyway, thanks everybody for their support, and we will catch you on the air here in a little bit, hopefully. 73, everybody.
See you guys.